Alrighty, so here we have our diamond match, YachtMaster and WhiteLion. In the top right corner, we have the pretty pink Protoss, YachtMaster. And in the bottom left, we have the pretty purple Zerg, WhiteLion. Alright.
Thank you.
So,
Remo?
nothing crazy thus far. We don't have any workers crossing the map.
Now, I realize you are neither a Zerg nor a Protoss player, Remo, but who do you think has the favored race on this map?
I'm not sure that it has so much to do with the map, but going from my general principle, QQ Protoss, I'm going to say that Protoss is probably at a favor. Always, no matter what. So also,
Right.
by
No bias there.
extension, with this mathematical logic I've been studying lately, that also means that they are overpowered on this map in particular. Right.
I see, and that's totally logical.
It is by the power of Protoss. Chrono and some probes going out to scout. Zerg's going to get in here and see, well, nothing.
Well, there's not much to see this early.
You have a Nexus, sir. Shocking. Who knew?
Now, as the toss, do you just 2-base and go on this map, or do you try and get a third?
I wouldn't have the first idea.
What do you see done to you?
Well, I'm not a Zerg, though. I'm a Terran. So, typically what I see is 2 proxy gates, or maybe a proxy oracle, and very occasionally like a bunch of stalkers. I'm not sure that any of those are legitimate choices here versus the Zerg. Maybe the proxy 2 gates, but that's looking pretty well excluded at this point.
Now,
I'm seeing a Forge.
Do you think WhiteLion was thinking maybe a proxy 2 gate with this Overlord to the south? Because that's a weird pathing to me.
That is an interesting pathing. He may just be being safe for the sake of it. I mean, it's not a multiple position map, so he's guaranteed to get the scout with the other Overlord. It just seems like good safe play to me.
Fair enough.
YachtMaster is interestingly not abusing the crap out of our Zerg player with his probe. He's famous for that.
Yacht does like to make brutal things happen with his probe.
Yeah, he's being much more conservative this game. He does leave just in time for the leadings, so that's well done.
Yeah, both players fully aware of what the other's doing at this point. The Overlord has seen pretty much everything.
Does YachtMaster know about this third, though?
He does not. It did just get dropped.
Yeah.
And he's going to have a hard time finding out.
YachtMaster's got both of his gas coming up now. Yeah.
He's floating a little more chrono boost than I'd like, and he's somehow put a 4th probe in one of his extractors.
I don't know anything about Zerg. Is it typical to Maynard your workers in a situation like this, or do you just build all of your drones in place?
Usually I'll transfer my extra drones and then just rally them over. I won't do a lot of transferring. There's, the math breakdown on it, I think, suggests that it's a little better to do a big bulk transfer. But it's so minor, it's not worth it.
Alright. Interestingly, we have an idle probe sitting here behind the mineral line.
Yeah, just a couple really small mistakes from Yacht, nothing major. No creep spread to speak of either. Really late gas and 6-minute mark. Extractor's just starting to finish up.
Yeah, it looks like we are in for a macro game. Not sure what else there is to say about that, except now to go with the probe that's not doing anything, we also have a 4th worker in the gas.
No, it was there earlier. I commented on it. one thing I'm about to see happen here is a fairly healthy supply block for the Zerg player. He's clearing it finally.
What
Both
do you
players
think
equal
prompts
on
the
workers.
two spores?
I think he's seen that there's
He,
not a lot of units, there's no sign of pressure, and he's going with the cautionary double spore. He knows there's a possibility he could be seeing DTs or an Oracle at this point, and he just wants to be safe against whichever one it is.
so it's not that he's seen a particular thing, it's that he's not seeing pressure.
Right. He wasn't able to get it, or at least hasn't yet gotten an additional scouting overlord in. Probably see that here in a minute.
This has been a very passive Protoss. 8 minutes and not walked across map yet.
Right, and the Roachhorn is just finishing up. Link speed started, and ranged weapons 1 started all at once for the Zerg player, so he's opening up all his options. What I'd like to see the Zerg player doing, if he were on my team, is creep spreading at both of the potential thirds for YachtMaster.
Yeah, I was just thinking that Overlord Poop just got finished. And there it is.
My favorite thing to do once the lair is done.
Tremendous timing. Coming in with the two Zerglings here. Let's see what's going on. Maybe get a nice little back tickle from the laser beams. So, ooh, that feels good. So we got roaches here with the upgrade. Zerg looks like they're getting ready for something here. They're going to have 3 upgrades finishing all about the same time. With Tunneling Claws finishing shortly thereafter.
And 6 overlords just finished.
6 overlords. So are we expecting a flood of roaches here?
Oh wow, I didn't notice that double roach.
Ah, and here they are, 14 roaches. Yeah, he's got both upgrades and +1, and Speedling just finished.
See, no splash on the way. Robo's finished, but hasn't started producing anything yet.
17 roaches in production now. Yeah.
So we have a little bit of everything from the TOS player. Blink's on the way, the Robo's done, the robotics bay is started, and he's got a few stalkers and a few sentries out.
He's got a very thick wall up here on the third. It looks like maybe he's trying to prepare against banelings.
Well, that wall does a few things. If you Nexus cannon, and you have the photon cannons like that with the gateways in front of them, even roaches are going to have a hard time getting in there and really doing damage. You're going to buy time with those gateways.
Yeah, I was about to say, how does the range work out with the roaches shooting at the gateway? And I'm looking at the roaches.
The roaches will be able to take out the pylons, but they won't be able to get to the Nexus until they get through that or go around it. And going around it will be tricky because one assumes there will be some force fields there. So it does offer a lot of protection the way he's laid out that SimCity, and I do like it. I'd like to actually see him extended around a little bit further all the way to that tree line.
So, do you think Zerg is ready to move now? I mean, it's been a minute since his upgrade's finished.
I think Zerg wanted to get a little bit more out on the map first and spread a little creep. He probably could have gone out earlier, but he picked a really good time because he's going to catch everything out of position. YachtMaster has Blink, which may be the saving grace. He can get his army back home, and if he saves those stalkers, he might be able to hold against this. But there's 13 more roaches on the way, and not much else coming for the Protoss player. So there he's off creep. He should be safe, but why?
Why did he go this way? Oh my goodness.
Well, that was the moment we didn't need as the Protoss player.
That seemed entirely unnecessary.
So WhiteLion with a slight advantage here, having hit essentially max army.
Weapons
two finishing.
Too. I mean,
Yeah, no,
this is a pretty fast max out for a non-pro player.
indeed. And there's the force fields, but with burrow movement, burrow speed, I don't think they're going to matter.
Where is the Nexus cannon? My favorite is unit for us.
Well, it's a good unit, but against 1,000 roaches, it might not be a good enough unit. It's a little late. Looked like the mothership core was out on the map, and in fact, so's the observer. Really valiant effort to hold here, but he was just so far behind by the time that army got to his ramp.
Yeah, having those stalkers at home probably would have helped. I'm not sure that they would have made the difference.
They might not have, but they might have. We see here there's a few roaches left. Not a huge amount on the way across the map yet, though they will be shortly. If there'd been another 10 stalkers shooting and detection after the cannon went down, that may have made the difference.
We're out of production buildings, though. That's a big problem.
Yeah, there's truly not a way to recover once you're down to no production.
Yeah, this is unfortunate. I think he's going to have to call it.
It does look that way. He's going to go through the front buildings one more time. The pylon finishes just in time for the gateway to go down. And the Nexus back and is down. I think there's just no way to recover at this point.
I mean, he could go out and left my ops on the other side.
Yeah. Well, I think the obs died with the army that moved out, or stayed with the army that moved out and didn't come back home. So once that cannon at the front went down, burrowed roaches were perfectly safe.
Well,
good game from both players.
Yeah, it was a good try. It was a nice timing attack from the Zerg. I mean, he hit max out pretty good there. Had all of his upgrades, and Protoss was simply not ready for it.
Indeed.
So well played, WhiteLion.
All right, well, let's go into a short break, and then we have one more replay, I guess.
Alrighty.